Pony players, Robbett here. It's event after event after event in Puni, and right now we've got a special score attack challenge, Yamerunjya Sensei. For this week only, Yamerunjya Sensei is the boss of score attack, and we're going to check it out. Of course, if you can get a good enough score, you have a chance of befriending him. The rewards have been extended this week, so the top 25,000 will get him. In addition, all the other ranks have a very small chance of getting him if they happen to land on a 1000th position. Given the current event, there are special bonuses for event yokai. Kaminaris Goru gets a big bonus, KJ gets a medium bonus, and Flengu gets a small bonus. There are also missions that go along with this week's score attack. Yamerunjya Sensei is restricted to mysterious, charming, heartful, and shady. Bad news for Slurpant lovers, great news for owners of Kirakoma and Fukurukuju. Given that Yamerunjya is eerie, charming and heartful are the most powerful. As the notice alluded to, this week's rewards are a little different. Top 500 get 4 Yamerunjya, 2 Super Soul Secrets, and 3 G1 coins. Top 25,000 still get Yamerunjya, but less of him, and differing Soul Secrets and coins. Alright, the first thing I always do, especially when the situation is unique like it is this week, is to do some recon. We know that the event yokai give bonuses, but we don't know exactly how much. First up, we'll try out Kaminaris Goru, the drummer. He's a shady SS rank attack booster equal to the likes of Pink Emperor and Prison Breaker, and his ultimate has a secondary ability to boost how quickly you get into fever, just like Hotei. Additionally, his passive skill is equivalent to Suyu or Rainy Kyubi. His Puni are easier to connect. To figure out the bonus, I really don't have to do anything at all except get a single point, but I've got my team set up how I kind of assume I'll ultimately want to play. Turns out, Kaminaris Goru gives a whopping 300% bonus. That's tremendous, making it so you effectively quadruple your score. Next up is KJ. KJ is a charming SS rank time-stopping attacker equivalent to Sakura Venok. His skill allows him to start with his soul meter pre-filled. Unfortunately, no matter how good his boost is, it's going to be hard to swap him out for an attacker score booster given he's an attacker. Looks like KJ gets a 100% bonus, which is not too shabby. That's the equivalent of a fully maxed attack booster, but the bonus is after the fact, so the math isn't quite as good as having the booster, unless you can get big damage from KJ. Lastly, we have Flengu. Given his bonus is the smallest, I don't have high hopes. Flengu is an S-rank mysterious attacker, equivalent to a junior version of Columbus. When you use Flengu's ultimate, he puts a special ball in the center of the screen that when popped damages surrounding Puni and heals as well. I don't actually have him maxed out, he's only ultimate level 5, but if he proves beneficial I can work on maxing him out. Flengu gives a 30% bonus, nothing to laugh at, but considering I have the other two, he's really not on my radar. Now it's time to check out the teams that make sense and see how much I can get from each. I'm making a bet on using Kaminaris Goru as my bonus yokai, largely because he's an attack booster, so I'm not really losing anything by subbing him in. This first team is Kirakoma, along with Hotei, Pom-Pom Puriness, and Edison from the Mysterious tribe. Kirakoma is a great go-to and score attack, but Mysterious isn't strong this week, so we'll have to see what will happen. To really get an amazing score with Kirakoma, you have to use him twice in each fever, but I want to assess him with an individual ultimate first. Looks like a little under 240,000 damage. That's equivalent to around 27 million score. The astounding part, however, is that with Kaminaris Goru, that score becomes 109 million, which in any other week would guarantee you top 5,000. I think it might even do that this week, given it goes down to 25,000th place. The second team revolves around Fukurukuju. He's heartful, so he should be really good, even if he isn't quite as powerful as Kirakoma in an even fight. I've got Unikirin and Elder Bloom as my heartful boosters, and I'm using Pink Emperor as my additional attack booster given the lack of other powerful heartful boosters. Similar to Kirakoma, you really want to get Fukurukuju twice during Fever to get a big score, but to compare him, I'm only going to do one Ultimate. 255,000 damage, more than what we saw with Kirakoma. That's over 29 million score. With the Kaminara Skoru bonus, that's a total of 118 million score. Next, I'm going to try what I consider to be the easiest method for tracers. Given we're able to play with 2 of them, I'm going to include both at the cost of a booster. Since Heartful is the more powerful against Eerie, I've left Unikirin and Elder Blumen with Kaminara Skoru, and then both Kirakoma and Fukurukuju. While this is easier, the loss of that extra attack booster means that you're going to leave a big chunk of damage on the playfield. 246,000 damage, equivalent to a single Kirakoma with 4 boosters. The score is 27 million, assuming I did a reasonable job with both tracers. That's 108 million score after the bonus. It's clear that to get the absolute best score, I'm going to need to double up on Ultimates from the primary tracers and leave the other 4 slots in my team for boosters. First up is Fukurukuju, and let's see what we can get out of 2 Ultimates. He's a little easier to double up on compared to Kirakoma due to the fact that his traces are straight lines that you can flick, rather than having to continuously move your finger. That means it's ever so slightly easier to stick to the edges and avoid hitting your second size 13 Puni. 2 Fukurokujus does 395,000 damage. That's 47 million in a single Fever. After the bonus, we're all the way up to 189 million score. Now it's Kirakoma's turn, so I've put back the mysterious booster team. As I mentioned before, he can be a little difficult to pull off 2 Ultimates simply because you might hit the Puni you're going to use for the second Ultimate. The key is trying to get Kirakoma to start while the second big Puni is growing in size. As the Puni grows, it cannot be popped, and since Kirakoma's star starts in the middle of the board, this gives you an opportunity to move away from it. Realistically, you need to not only do this, but to pull off multiple Fevers if you want to get to the top of the leaderboard. It can be seriously stressful. 390,000 damage from 2 Kirakomas. That's 46.5 million score, just slightly under what we saw with Fukurukuju. With bonuses, that's 186 million. So we've come to the time where I put in an amazing run and get a top score, right? The funny thing is, I decided to use Kirakoma because I didn't realize until I was editing this video that Fukurukuju actually did a little better. That's life. Kirakoma it is, for now. Here's the thing though. There's a whole week left to play. So I'm not actually going to show my whole run. It took me about 30 tries and I'm really proud of where I've gotten on the leaderboard. I'll leave most of it up to your imagination, but I will show you from my last continue on so you can see me trying to eke out one last little bit and get to see that score. As I come into the final continue, I've already amassed 117 million score. I'm about 1/3 of the way through Fever, but I've got all my boosters up. As stressful as the run has been before this, I'm actually on easy street here because all I need to do is use Kirakoma and then spam the board for a few extra points. 363,000 damage from that last Fever, which is awesome and largely due to combo accumulation. That's 656 million after the Kaminara Skoru bonus. 656 million. That's my best score ever, by far. It's also enough to slot me into number 2 on the leaderboard. There's a ton of time left, but I've been faring pretty well lately and my positions haven't been slipping too much during the week. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitter for the latest Puni Puni and Wibble Wobble information. Until the next video, good luck with the gacha.